As many of you guys know, over the past several weeks, there have been a lot of LEGO Star Wars Summer 2026 set leaks, and in this video, I'm going to go over all of them and kind of lay them out in an organized fashion for you guys, because there are a lot of them, and some of them are really exciting, including a possible set from the Darth Maul show that I will talk about towards the end of the video. Regardless though, starting off with April 26, which is just a few weeks from now, there are 6 sets releasing, that being the 4 Mandalorian sets that we've already seen, and then of course the Darth Vader and Yoda bust sets. I've already gone in depth on all 6 of these sets multiple times in other videos, and I also assume most of you guys have already seen all of these already, but if you do need a reminder, these 6 sets right here are releasing on April 26. Moving on to May 1st, there are 2 sets releasing, the first one of course being the UCS Mandalorian N1 Starfighter, set number 75442, with 1,809 pieces and a retail price of $240, and the second one being the GWP for the UCS N1 Starfighter, that being the Darksaber, set number 40917, and at the time of me making this video, we still don't have pictures of either of these sets. Now actually just this morning, LEGO did put out an announcement that they're going to be doing a live stream on April 15th revealing the sets. However, there is a strong chance that pictures of these 2 sets will end up leaking before that live stream happens. So really at this point, we could get leaked pictures of these sets at any moment. But again, just at the time that I'm recording this, we haven't gotten anything yet. And when we do get pictures, obviously I'll make a specific video for it and I'll give my thoughts on the set then. Moving on to June 1st, right now there are 2 sets that are scheduled to release. However, as of now, we actually don't know what they are. However, for one of them, I actually do have a really good educated guess, but the first one is set number 75458 with 775 pieces and a retail price of $70, and based on that piece count and that price point, I personally think this is probably going to be a helmet set, because historically helmet sets usually are very close to 10 cents per piece, and obviously if you look at this price point, $70 for 775 pieces, it's also really close to 10 cents per piece. I mean, obviously I could be wrong, but based on the price point and the piece count, I think this might be a helmet set. Now as for which helmet specifically, I have no idea. I mean, your best guess is as good as mine. I guess the obvious choice would be something from the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, maybe even just a flat out Mandalorian helmet remake, but again, who knows. Moving on though, the next one is set number 75461 with 1,028 pieces and a retail price of $100, and this is the one that I actually have a really good educated guess on, because if you look here, it does say that it's from the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and like the one I just talked about, because of the price point and the piece count, I actually think I know what this is going to be. My best guess is actually a buildable Babu Frick. Like helmet sets, historically, buildable characters, especially the smaller ones that are around $100, usually do have a price per piece of around 10 cents, and again, if you look here, this is about 10 cents, and considering that they're releasing the new buildable Grogu on April 26, it just makes sense for them to also release a buildable Babu Frick to pair with him. Moving on to July 1st, there is 1 set releasing, and from what I know, it's going to be an Amazon exclusive, that being 75459 Imperial Shuttle with 961 pieces and a retail price of $140, including the Mandalorian, Fennec Shand, Moff Gideon, Pin Pershing, I don't know how to say his name, and 2 Stormtroopers. And obviously, based on that minifigure lineup, it is going to be based off the Mandalorian Season 2. I'm pretty sure specifically the episode where they hijack an Imperial shuttle in space, but honestly, for $140, I mean, this minifigure lineup actually does look pretty promising. We're going to get 3 pretty prominent name characters, along with Pin Pershing, which is a figure that's never been made before. Now, as for the build itself, obviously, if it's going to be good or not is up in the air, but based on the price point and the piece count, I actually do kind of have high hopes for it, and the reason is because if you take a look at the 2015 Imperial Shuttle, which is widely regarded to be the best play-scale Imperial Shuttle LEGO has made before, it had a piece count of 937, which is relatively close to the piece count of this new one, which is 961, and it had a retail price of $100 back in 2015, which if you adjust for inflation, actually comes out to right at about $140, which is the price of this new one. So because of that, I think there is a chance that this new Imperial Shuttle could actually be relatively the same size as that 2015 model, and not super downsized and garbage like the 2021 version. Now we are talking about LEGO Star Wars in 2026 here, so obviously there's a chance I could just be completely wrong and super let down, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Moving on to August, as of now, we only know of 4 sets releasing on August 1st, and the first one is 75451 Hutt and Droid Battle with 415 pieces and a retail price of $50, and we don't really know the actual name of this set yet, but we do know that it's most likely going to be based off the scene in the Mandalorian trailer that shows Rada, so I think it's pretty safe to assume that Rada the Hutt is obviously going to be included in this set along with the Mandalorian, and I guess also some type of droids according to what the leak says. Now one thing I am really curious about is how they're actually going to do Rada. I mean, the obvious thought is that he'll just be a 2-piece mold like they've done with Jabba the Hutt in the past, but also personally I think there's a chance that he might actually be brick built instead of a mold, so I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait and see, but that is one thing I'm really curious about. Next up, we have a set that's actually getting a lot of attention right now because a preliminary image of it just leaked, that being 75453 Sandcrawler with 1,683 pieces and a retail price of $200. And like I just mentioned, a preliminary image of this set just leaked. I'm not going to show it in this video because I don't want to get my channel taken down over something little like that, but it is very easy to find on the internet. Literally just Google 2026 LEGO Sandcrawler leak or something like that and you'll probably see a picture of it. But the set is going to include the muddy version of the Mandalorian, Queel, and then 3 gray Jawas. Oh yeah, and speaking of the color gray, one thing I forgot to mention is that the whole Sandcrawler is a gray. If you look at the image that leaked, it definitely does look a bit bizarre, but I personally think it actually looks pretty cool. It's something different from the normal Sandcrawlers, and also it's literally gray in the Mandalorian Season 1, which is what the set is based off of, so it's not like LEGO's making a dumb decision by making this one gray. It's literally gray in the show. On top of that, it's also supposed to include the Mudhorn, and from what I've heard, the Mudhorn is actually going to be pretty large, around 400 pieces, which is way more than I was initially expecting, but that's what I've been told by some reliable sources. So that means that the Sandcrawler itself is most likely going to be around a 1,200 piece build, which actually happens to be about the exact same piece count as the 2018 Sandcrawler. So I guess if you want a good idea of the size, imagine this older Sandcrawler from 2018 with a 400 piece brick-built Mudhorn as a side build, and that's what you'll be getting for $200. So yeah, take that as you please. Next up is 75454 AT-AT with 1,453 pieces and a retail price of $160, and as of now, we don't know what the minifigure lineup is. However, we do know that it's going to be based off the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, being the AT-ATs that were seen in the trailer that were like walking down the mountain. Now, the price and the piece count of this set are honestly kind of throwing me off, because when I originally saw that price point of $160, my first thought was like, oh no, this is going to be a super downsized set and disappoint a lot of people. And the reason is because the AT-AT that came out in 2020 was $170, which adjusted for inflation is about $215 in today's money. And with this one being $160, that means there's going to be about a $55 size difference between this new one and the 2020 model. So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is going to be super tiny and people are going to be pissed about it. However, the piece count is 1,453 and the piece count of the 2020 model is 1,267. So this new one with inflation adjusted is going to be about $55 cheaper than the 2020 model. However, it has about 200 more pieces. So honestly, I have no idea what that means. I mean, hey, maybe it simply just means that we're actually going to get a set that's not overpriced for once and is actually a good size too. Lastly, for August 1st, we have a really interesting set, that being 75455 Boba Fett with 1,544 pieces and a retail price of $170. And well, if you're confused and wondering what that means, it's going to be a Boba Fett statue just like the Iron Man that released earlier this year in January. Now that Iron Man set is $130 and this one is listed as $170, so I guess this Boba Fett might be quite a bit larger, but who knows. Regardless though, I honestly have mixed feelings about this set. It's kind of a double-edged sword. On one side, that Iron Man set is freaking fire, and I think that a Boba Fett in that style would just be really cool. But on the other hand, it's like, oh, I guess LEGO is introducing yet another 18+ sub-theme, even on top of those two bust sets. So again, in that sense, it is kind of a double-edged sword because I'm honestly getting tired of how many 18+ sets we're getting. But man, a giant Boba Fett statue just sounds really cool, and I think a lot of people will probably like this. And honestly, if it sells well and they make more of these in the future, we could get really cool statue sets like Clone Troopers or Stormtroopers, or maybe even a remake of the 2008 UCS General Grievous. That's what I definitely want. So yeah, this set is really intriguing to me. Again, I kind of have mixed feelings about it, but for the most part, they're positive because I think it has a lot of potential. Lastly, there are a couple of miscellaneous sets that we don't have release dates for, one of them being the Maul Set. But starting off with the other one first, it's going to be an upscaled Darth Vader Big Fig for $100, and all we know about this set is that it's most likely going to be a LEGO Store exclusive, and we don't know when it's releasing. My best guess is probably August, but who knows. But then lastly, we have the rumored set from Maul Shadow Lord, the show that just came out, and I have very little information on this set, and its release date is up in the air. All I've been told is that we're getting a Maul set, it's going to be some type of ship, and it's going to cost $50. And if it does release this year in 2026, it most likely will release in August. However, I've also been told there's a chance it could be delayed and end up releasing in January of 2027. So again, the info about this set is really up in the air, but all we know specifically is that it's going to be $50 and it's going to be some type of ship. Now, what that ship may be, I have no idea. At the time of me recording this video, only the first 2 episodes of the show have came out, and based on those first 2 episodes, the only vehicle that would kind of justify a $50 set is one of those police speeders, and I guess it would obviously include Maul and maybe a couple of his henchmen, and then like that main character police dude, I forgot his name. But again, that's if it is one of these police speeders. We don't know what it's going to be. We just know it's a $50 ship. It could be and most likely is something that's going to be seen later on in the season. Heck, and maybe it might even include the 11th brother. I'm pretty sure we'd all like that. But again, who knows? Your best guess is is just as good as mine. Anyways though guys, that is every LEGO Star Wars set releasing in summer of 2026. Now there are some rumors about some fall sets, specifically the UCS Super Star Destroyer. However, I'm going to save my thoughts on that for a future video. So let me know what you guys think about these down in the comments below. If you're new, please consider subscribing. And if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see the link on the screen right now.